Packers and Rodgers are close to a deal announced today. The
Finally.
deal with the yeah, it'll bring Rodgers back for at least one more season.
And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised Aaron Rodgers got to that. I mean, like I said this whole time, I never saw the Packers getting rid of him this offseason. So when I got the notification today and when I read the tweets today about them potentially, or it looks like it's gonna. They said it's really close to a deal, and it's only gonna keep him safe against one more year, and then next season they're probably gonna trade him. But I was just surprised.
Yeah, I think after this, do you think if okay, so if Aaron Rodgers goes obviously back to Green Bay like we're saying, and they get to a Super Bowl or even win it maybe,
They
does he
finally get to
stay
a
with
Super
them?
Bowl.
I mean, they've been there, but like modern era, did they? What does he do?
I mean,
Does he go back?
you gotta stay. I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
would just make that's what's gonna happen though. After all this time, they were so close to getting to the Super Bowl, they never did. And now when he wants out and he's gonna go one more year, this is gonna be the time when they make it to the Super Bowl. They don't even have to win it. If they make it, it's already in discussion. Okay, now what?
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking the Devontae Adams thing is going to be a lot better now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. So I feel like once Aaron Rodgers comes back, if it happens, I feel like it's about like a 95% chance right now. Uh, it's going to be for a Packers fan. It's going to be very settling to know that.
Well, yeah, Packers fans breathed a sigh of relief today because they were about to lose both their superstars potentially, and now they're at least having for one more year.
Yeah, what modern Packers fan like? If you think about it though, like what modern Packers fan has really even like watched the game without Aaron Rodgers being on the team in a minute? Like
None.
obviously, but it's just like whenever I was a kid and I saw Peyton Manning lead the Colts, I was like, what do I do?
Then you saw what
But
happened when he left.
yeah, and that was actually crazy. But then you saw what happened after that, and it's like,
That's
dang.
right. He just got
But
replaced. But
yeah,
so I don't know um if Devonte Adams his new contract negotiations are starting again. Do you think he's gonna sign a multi-year, or they're probably not gonna do the same thing for him? Oh, we'll at least get you for
I don't
this
know.
year.
That's gonna be very weird because I feel like Devontae Adams is gonna want a 1 year as well, but like as a Packers standpoint, you want him for years.
Yeah,
Like
you don't want
you
to lose
can't.
both of them next year.
If Devontae Adams doesn't want to sign a more than 1 year contract, then that's kind of like it's kind of sus. But
I mean, that's the safest thing for him to do, though.
oh yeah, definitely. It's just it kind of sucks like when you're a Packers fan knowing that because it's like you got other teams to go out they get players 4 or 5 years,
Yeah,
lowest three. That's that young,
and he's the number
and
one receiver in the game.
yeah, like literally the number one.
So best thing for
The
Green
only thing
Bay. Go ahead, Corbin.
I was gonna say the only thing about if I was Devonte Adams, I don't know what Green Bay is trying to get him for, but if I'm Devonte Adams, I'm probably trying to sign a multi-year contract because I'm looking. He's 28 years old, so he's kind of like getting there up in age. So this could
Honestly,
potentially
he's
be one
younger than
of the
that.
like last. I did too, but this could be potentially like one of the last times he has a chance at like a ridiculous amount of money because
Yeah,
obviously, like Bailey said, he's like probably the top wide receiver in the game right now, if not like for sure top three. I don't know if you sign a 1 year deal, like maybe that doesn't affect it. So maybe like right now, if you sign a 1 year deal, he can still get big money after another year. But I think he's got to. I think like if I was him, that's what I'd be thinking about too. Potentially leaving Green Bay, getting they don't want to give you more than like a 1 year deal or whatever. I imagine they do, but like I said, I just think it's like one of the last times he could potentially get paid big money for
it's a big
for
risk. He's going
three,
into a
four,
big
5 years.
risk.
Yeah,
I think the
because
best thing for Packers fans, the best thing that can happen, is they make it to the Super Bowl. That way, even if they each sign a 1 year, they win a Super Bowl. It's gonna, or I don't know if win or at least make. If they at least make the Super Bowl, Rodgers will stay. If they win, they're definitely gonna stay. But I think best thing the Packers fans needs to happen to at least keep Aaron Rodgers is to make the Super Bowl. Because we'll see what Adams signs. It's got to be close in the next couple days.
Yeah,
It'll just
and I think
it'll
even
I don't know.
even if they make the Super Bowl, I still don't, because like a lot of this has been Aaron Rodgers being frustrated with the GM and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's 100% just like performance based. Like they've only lost like 6 games or 4 games, something stupid like that in the last like
That's
2
definitely what it
years.
is. He's just frustrated with the system.
Yeah, so I know like I don't know. To me, I just don't think it's like performance. So I don't know making or winning the Super Bowl how much that fixes things. Obviously, like winning fixes a lot, but
In this
just if
case,
if that if that like relationship is already tarnished, which I think like for the most part it is, or else Rodgers wouldn't be acting like to this degree.
yeah.
I don't know. I would agree that winning Super Bowl would help, but I just like don't know if that fixes everything.
How much will influence next year?
Yeah, like I don't know if just winning the Super Bowl makes him.
Hell, if they win the Super Bowl, he might
Yeah,
retire. He might as well go out on top.
yeah.
Because who knows when we'll get
Another
back.
thing is talking about Aaron
How old's
Rodgers,
A-Rod?
who's 37, 30, yeah, 37, probably 38 this year.
He was like 8 behind Tom Brady. 9, 8, 9.
What, Tom Brady's 45, 44?
Yeah, think about it. If Aaron Rodgers could last as long as him, dude, that means he's still 7, 8 years away from another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tom Brady, I feel like his team is off top, but he's just insane. So
He's up here.
See, Tom Brady was 43 last year.
Yeah.
I thought he was like 45.
Nah.
I think he wants to like play till then,
Still,
but
though.
he's 43.
Well, I thought I saw something to where his contract doesn't even end until he's like 50, but I could be completely wrong.
I don't
'Cause
know
he,
about that.
didn't he signed like a 5-year contract?
He-
I thought.
Yeah, he did something, but I haven't quite figured out exactly what it is because I don't know.
To where he like gets paid
There's
after he's
something.
done or something like that.
I don't know. I thought it was like an extension, but I don't. Like I said, I don't
It
know.
might be.
if it's-
Is it like an option to
not.
come back?
He signed
Might be.
through 2022. Or wait, no.
Oh,
20. I don't know. This is weird because on here it says he signed through 2025, but there's no base salary. He just gets $8 million signed void. I don't know how to read contracts. Never mind. He's on a 1-year, $25 million deal right now, though. Contract
which was a
term.
2-year was a 2-year deal when he first signed.
yeah.
But now this is the
For
last
some
deal.
reason, I was thinking he signed like a 5-year contract, but
I don't know. They'll probably
Anyways.
keep winning Super Bowls, and he'll just keep re-signing. We'll just see what happens with Tom Brady. But back to Aaron Rodgers to close it. He's back in. Looks like he's back in Green Bay for one more season. Packers fans
Yeah.
can breathe. He's not going to the Broncos, which kind of sucks. I just wanted to see him somewhere else. I didn't want to see him in Green Bay again because we know
I
what's
wanna
going to
see him,
happen.
like, yeah, no, it's gonna. I don't think they're good enough to win a Super Bowl. Just to be honest, I don't think they're all well around.
Nah, they're
like-
definitely good enough. They've been good enough the last like 3 years, but they can't get out of the playoffs.
And then they get to the
I'd never believe them, to
NFC
be honest.
Championship.
Yeah. Back-to-back years they lost. Game right before last year. We don't have to talk about it again, but choked. Should have beat the Bucks, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why he wants out, and he didn't get out. He's there for one more year. We'll see what Adam signs and see if he's 1 year or multiple years.
Just wonder too how does this affect the locker room when you're like leader, your star quarterback is like can come back and play for the year, but once out, like he's trying to leave the team that you're playing for.
I mean, he pretty much quit on everything, and then it's just wild. I didn't see them trading him, and I didn't see him coming back. I did, for sure just thought he was gonna sit out.
Be done.
It's just crazy. I don't think he'd be done, but I just definitely thought he wasn't gonna go play for him. And then here we are.
So some more quarterback drama. The Texans are now listening to the trade offers for Deshaun Watson.
It's the first we've
pretty
heard about his
interesting.
situation in a minute.
I know it's like ever since he got that big scandal, whatever it was, he kind of like disappeared.
Yeah. But the Houston Texans said it's likely going to take 3 first-round picks and starting caliber players. I mean, rightfully so. It's Deshaun Watson.
Honestly, though, I don't. If you're, for example, say you're another team that needs a quarterback, I'm not sure off the top of my head what team I think would be most interested in him.
Yeah.
3 first-round picks and a starting caliber players, like that's a lot. I don't know if you give up that honestly, because if you're
I don't
one of
know
those
about
teams,
3 first rounders. I bet 2 will be fine, and then throw in some players and some like a strong player. But I would throw a lot to get Deshaun Watson personally. He's young. We see what he does. He's no signs of going bad. He just wants out of a bad team.
one of the teams
I
I
think
think that really could pick up Watson, I think the best fit for him maybe not as like the offense, but like just somewhere I could actually see it happening is New Orleans. Like if James, I don't know though because Jameis Winston, they probably are right now thinking like, oh, we're just gonna put our trust in him. Let's not think
Hey,
about
trade
that.
him to the Texans.
But they could trade him to the Texans, but give them like I don't know what you would give him.
You don't really
First round
see
pick.
player swaps like that in the NFL, though, do you? Like the NBA, like
Yeah, it's
trading
just
a
a
player
pick
for a player.
because picks are so valuable in NFL compared to the NBA.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't see anybody in New Orleans you could really just give away other than like Michael Thomas, but
that'd be
he's
so
like a
dumb.
stud. Yeah. I
Bring in
know.
Deshaun Watson and get rid of Michael Thomas at the same time.
You need that duo right there. I think, but the
think
thing is
about
though, if you had Watson, Kamara, and Michael Thomas, that'd be insane.
It's lethal.
I was just gonna say, like you said, like imagine the Saints bringing in Deshaun Watson, getting rid of Michael Thomas. Like think about the other side. Like think about the Texans getting Michael Thomas, and just not having a
Yeah,
quarterback to throw to.
right. Other teams. I mean, Miami, maybe Philly. Those are
Don't say
quarterback.
Philly, dude.
I
We talked
mean,
about this in the last podcast.
yeah, but there's still uncertainty.
Yeah, I'm
Like
just kidding.
same with Miami. Like they I mean they have quarterbacks, but
Yeah.
I think like the 3 draft picks kind of steep, but I think if you're like a team, like I would think like Denver, New Orleans, and I would even think Miami, kind of team where you really think that you're like think Deshaun Watson's going to put you over there and put you in Super Bowl contention. And I think like that's when you're like
yeah.
you want because we got to get him here. That's what makes me think like especially now that there was rumors that like Rodgers to Denver. Now Rodgers is obviously off the market pretty much for the year being.
I wonder if they're gonna go after Deshaun.
Yeah, because I mean I've heard like I don't know because I don't pay that much attention to the Broncos, but I've heard things where they think they can like John Elway thinks he can win a Super Bowl if they just get a quarterback, and that was like them talking about Rodgers.
That's
So like I think
steep.
if a team has like thoughts like that, then I think that's gonna end up being like a team that has to go and get him right now. I feel
Yeah.
like there would have been more teams interested if it wasn't we're only a couple days. Some teams I think are already reporting for training camp, and then I think like I know like the Colts I'm pretty sure is like 2 or 3 days away.
Imagine Deshaun Watson throwing to Jerry Judy.
Oh man,
Be
and Cortland
lethal.
Sutton though. Don't forget about that.
And Cortland Sutton, that's what I'm saying. And then they still got Melvin Gordon at running
So
back.
has the feeling of the podcast switched from Rodgers to the Broncos to Watson to the Broncos? Should we start that?
Dude, I think the thing though is we have to think about is, as I said, think so many times. But anyways, the Broncos took Osweiler from the Texans, so maybe there's a little bit of like trade chemistry there.
Yeah, a little bit of history action. Yo,
Yeah.
listen, what should have been done is trading Rodgers for Watson. Just swap them out. Each one gone out of their homes. Swap them.
Okay, Texans would definitely need a lot more than just Rodgers. I believe. I like
Take Adams with
think
them.
about. It.
Yeah, I'd say I think if
What?
that was the case, I
What?
don't honestly think there's no way Houston does that.
Nah.
Like if Houston did that, they would have just like won the trade, I believe. But
No shit. Well,
uh,
maybe. Listen, I'm a
no,
big.
no, no, no.
I hate
The
saying that I'm a
Packers
big
would win
Deshaun
the
Watson
trade.
fan,
I meant the Packers. Yeah.
but he's nasty. Last season, almost 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 picks, and he was throwing to absolutely nobodies. I don't know how he
I
was
mean, hell,
getting.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
let's
understand
I
that.
think he's
I think
top
number one
like
was Will Fuller.
Yeah, wasn't he injured for a minute or no?
and then he got
Well,
suspended. I'm pretty sure in the
That's
middle of
what it
last year
was.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
gets hurt every year though, so he probably was hurt at some point too.
I mean, Deshaun Watson's top 5 quarterback in the league, my opinion.
So
Yeah,
Will Fuller's stats
he's
last year.
young.
I'm gonna look.
He's very young. That's why teams need to, like, 3 first rounders is maybe too much. 2 is fine. If you have like you were saying, if you have that thing in your head where you need him now and you want to win now and you think you can with him, you make that happen like fast. You get him into your
I
team,
think
start training camp fast.
2 picks is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like I feel like a quarterback that's good and that's young, you kind of control the market because it's just like Colts. If Carson Wentz plays good, they got their franchise quarterback locked up for the next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, last
Same
year
thing. You
Wolf.
you trade for
Crazy.
Deshaun Watson, got it locked up for you know
a
15
while.
years.
Yeah,
Last year, actually, Will Fuller had his career record for yards and touchdowns and receptions. He had only 11 games, and he has played more games than that. And like, he's never played a full season though, so that's one thing keeping count.
that's what Corbin was saying. He just gets injured a lot. So to wrap up with Houston and Watson, I see him getting moved. I see them reaching a deal with somebody. It's going to be the obviously biggest move of the offseason. And I'd root for Deshaun Watson wherever he goes. And he's going to be out of our division, so I'll be hyped.
If I was the Lions, dude, like I know you got Goff, I know you made that trade, but dude, you don't need Goff. Get Watson.
You have no faith in golf?
So
I have zero. I have -5 faith in Goff.
that's the same thing for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins should go and get Deshaun Watson, even though you got Tua.
Yeah.
And I think
I-
Tua. I mean, Tua is a question mark, obviously, but I know he's only had 1 year. But I don't.
What if they send Tua to Houston?
I mean, that could be
Tua-
something.
That's actually something. Send Tua and what else would they give him? They had to give him something else.
For the picks, but
They wouldn't give the Dolphins. I feel like they're trying to build, I believe. So I don't think they would give too much up for the draft picks. Like I feel like they might give him 1 first rounder with Tua.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
at the
'cause they
same time,
were-
Houston's trying to build. So I'm gonna look up their future draft picks. Go ahead, Corbin.
I was just. I mean, Miami went 10-6 last year, so while they still might be building, I mean that's only a 3-game difference last year from Buffalo. It's like to me, I mean that's a team that's potentially right there. So why not make the Deshaun Watson move and try to maybe put yourself over the hump?
From
How
what
much
I
you got to
exactly
give up? 'Cause that's another thing too. It's going to depend on like even the player pieces you give up.
Right.
I look up Tua on Google, and the first story that pops up. No, the Miami Dolphins are not going to trade Tua.
I mean, you don't have if they want Watson, they don't have to trade Tua. If anything, keep Tua and have him learn under Watson or whatever. But they're gonna have to
I mean,
send him something.
I don't see how like people thought. I mean, not people thought, but like Tua. I don't think he played bad. I remember watching a NFL thing where people were like going over his film and how his film was just god awful in the NFL. But like, I don't know. I don't think he actually played 9 games last year. Did he? Maybe he did.
I'm not sure.
He always had every time he would. Yeah, there was like I don't know, at least probably like 3 or 4 games where he would play. They'd either get down or it'd be a close game, and they'd take him out, and Fitzpatrick would get the win.
Because he averaged. He was
Fitzpatrick would close the
6-3. 6-3 with a 64% completion rate. He threw 11 TDs, 5 picks, and he averaged about 200 yards a game, that's probably his weakness right there. But also
That's still
think
not
about
terrible though. When you write those out loud, that's not terrible stats.
yeah but where are his weapons at? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think Miles Gaskins was like the only reason Miles Gaskins is really popping off is because he's the only playmaker on their team. I can't think off the top of my head one of the receivers, but they probably have somebody that's decent.
They brought in Waddle, didn't they?
Well, they brought in Will Fuller,
Yeah, him. Yeah, I remember that now.
and they got Jalen Waddle, and they have Devontae Parker as well. I don't know. Alan Hearns plays for them. I did not know that. He used to play for the Bears. I
Devontae
believe.
Parker's actually like really good too. He was really good last year.
Devontae Parker's like a number one receiver. Jakeem Grant is insanely fast. I just remember that because of Madden. But I think they're a decent team. I mean, I think they're. If you look at their team like growing in the next 5 years, they could be a top contending team. I don't know.
All they need is
More
Deshaun
than-
Watson.
Maybe not. Maybe two is good for him. Like I said, those stats weren't horrible.
Yeah, but why was he always? Why were they not closing with them? You know, why'd they have to
Right.
throw
I mean,
Fitzpatrick in to close?
I don't know why it said he's 6-3 as a starter because I don't think it might have counted as
Yeah,
when
it
he
might have counted that, like, yeah, when Fitzpatrick like
yeah.
came in, even though Tua started. But that was the thing. It was weird just because I don't think they thought they were gonna be like I don't know, as competitive as they were. Part of me kind of feels like the only reason they were bringing in Fitzpatrick in these close games was because like they were actually like winning games or whatever. So then
And they
probably would have
needed
been
to keep
different if they
winning.
were. Yeah, it probably would have been different if they were terrible. They might have just let
Listen to the Dolphins'
Tua
first
go.
6 games. They play the Bears, the Falcons, Bengals, Patriots. Oh, I guess they put the Bills in the stretch. Never mind. And the Raiders. That's
I mean, they're in
possibly.
the same division as the Bills, so they got to play them twice.
Yeah, I didn't realize. But so they go from Bears, Dolphins, Bengals, Patriots, Raiders, which are some, as of compared to last year, are some garbage teams.
Yeah.
And then right after that, they go on a stretch of playing the Bills, Colts, Buccaneers, and then the Jaguars. So I thought they were gonna start with a bat. They might start off really good. That's my prediction, but they're probably gonna through the middle of the year just
Yeah.
kind of mellow out. But really, if you look at it, they have a pretty easy schedule. Other than the main people they play are the Bills, obviously twice, Buccaneers, and then that's really the only good team they play, other than the Titans and Colts.
And they usually play the Colts pretty well.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna lose there.
Is it in Miami?
It's in Miami, a 1 o'clock game. It's gonna be one of those games that we just lose, and you just gotta, like, I don't know, you don't want to watch it. Somehow we're just gonna
I know what you're saying.
that them and the. I believe we're gonna lose with the Browns as well. I think we play the Browns, but there's another team I knew we were just gonna lose to. Oh, our topic just always end up in cold talk.
So you guys think that Deshaun Watson will get moved, but we just don't know, obviously, what team can make that move? Or do you think they're not going to be able to get rid of him?
I don't know, man. That's just weird because
Do you see teams putting up what the Texans are wanting?
he's getting fined so much for not going to training camp, and if he like, I mean, like, it doesn't really make a difference, but like, why would they keep him if he doesn't even want to play for him and he's just going to training camp just so he's not fined?
Well, he just hates. I mean, look what the Texans did, man. They got rid of his number one weapon. They got rid of J.J. Watt, which I know he's injured all the time, but that's just weapons on defense. They're not.
I think Hopkins was the big one right there. That
And
was
that
like,
was just so
come
random.
on.
Made no sense at all. Like there's
Still throwing 48,000 or 4,800.
yeah, there's obviously problems and disagreements with the management side and the owner side. That's why he wants out.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that was something that came out after they got rid of Ray Hopkins. His problem with the coach, which they don't have anymore. I can't think of his name, and just like you said, the management of the team.
And that's once that is it's kind of like this Aaron Rodgers situation. Once that relationship gets real rocky, and especially the player is just not gonna have it anymore, it's hard to fix and it's hard to come to agreements again. That's why a lot of times you see players get moved once that happens.
What's kind of crazy is they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and then they got rid of his number one receiver again, which is Will Fuller. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know what they're doing. They brought in Philip Lindsay for the running back position. That's pretty much it. They got Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb played like freaking Brett Favre.
The Texans are who everybody thinks next year is going to be winless or win like 1 or 2 games.
Somehow they're gonna fucking just pop off.
Deshaun Watson wants out, man, and I think that he
Hey,
needs to find a way
Tyrod
to
Taylor
get
is the
out.
backup there. He's
Uh-oh.
not bad. I want to
All
see
right,
Philip.
Taylor's good for a few wins.
The Texans running back, their depth chart is really weird. They have a bunch of like mediocre running backs. They have, well, David Johnson, like at one point all these running backs were some of the best in the league. David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, and Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead was like one of those receiving backs back.
Yeah.
I
David
believe
Johnson used to be nasty his first like 2 or 3 years with the Cardinals, and
Yeah, I
then
was gonna
kept
say,
getting
what
hurt
team was he on?
he was yeah
for the
Cardinals, and then
Cardinals. He had like
they got
1 or 2 like ridiculous years, and then just I think he got hurt like back-to-back seasons or something like that.
they have Mark Ingram and Philip Lindsay is really good. So he actually didn't have a bad year last year. It was just the fact that he's sharing with Melvin Gordon. And they kind of just pushed him out of there with Melvin Gordon, which is kind of messed up because Philip Lindsay was killing it.
So Lindsay came out of nowhere.
I can't name one person on the defense other than Zach Cunningham.
The team's hopeless,
And
man. Which I'm
Jordan
hyped for
Hargrave.
because the Texans were always a very good team and they'd always play the Colts tough and we'd always have playoff games against them. I'm glad that they're on a downward trend right now, and I'd be even more hyped to see again Deshaun Watson out of the AFC South for me.
Yeah,
And I like the guys. I want to see him on a way better team. I think it'd be awesome to see him pop off somewhere else. So we'll see
can
what
trades go
happens.
down? This is like a really, really. I'm just having a brain fart right now. Can trades go down after week 1?
Yeah, you got to like
I
I
don't
think
know.
like week 8 or something like that for
Yeah, that's what I was
trades.
thinking. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I was like, for some reason, I just can't remember any big trade. Like, for example, I like Deshaun Watson starts week 1 with the Texans, and I guess Jacoby Brissett came and did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they need to do something. If you're Deshaun Watson, you want to get out of there quick because you want that training camp time with your new team.
Exactly.
But hopefully, the new team, like, I feel like every team right now that I can think of has a hope in their number 1, other than the Broncos and maybe the Eagles, which I don't know why. I for some reason I'm just big on Jalen Hurts. I think he's insane.
I
I've
mean, there's
watched
a
his
lot of
film.
teams that we name a new team every week who doesn't know there's like a quarterback battle or whatever, but
Yeah,
there's only a very few amount of teams that would actually trade for Deshaun Watson.
I would trade for Deshaun Watson if I had a quarterback battle like the Broncos and the Redskins right now. What's Redskins really it's Fitzmagic, but um, I don't see why you don't go for Deshaun Watson is unless it's like 'cause he's gonna be your piece. Like that is your piece. He was bringing the Texans to the playoffs. Like basically, I'm not gonna say it was just him, but like basically just him, other than DeAndre
He's an
Hopkins
elite
and stuff.
quarterback. He's a superstar quarterback in the league, and teams need to
Yeah.
make whatever they can do to happen to get him and to get him out of where he's at.
What about some of the teams that just drafted quarterbacks? I think that crosses their mind.
Um,
Like maybe not, obviously not. I don't think the Jags would trade Trevor Lawrence, but I don't know. What if you're like the
the
Bears
Jets.
or the Jets? And we saw
The
the
Bears, I
Cardinals
feel
kind of do it
like
with Rosen. Gave on him up on him super quick.
That's a
I
tough
feel bad for
one.
Josh Rosen. Uh, 49ers, I don't think they would do that. Because they
Well, it's tough because a bunch of the teams that just drafted quarterbacks are also uncertain with their starter and their new draft pick. So, like, I don't know, throwing a
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson in there also is like, what do we
the
do
thing
then?
is most of these quarterbacks that got drafted this year, if they were in any other draft without Trevor Lawrence, they all could have potentially been number 1 picks.
Yeah.
Like Trey Lance is probably the only quarterback I think that would have probably been snubbed a little bit. But Justin Fields, I don't know how he went that far to be honest, or not. Yeah, Mac Jones could have been number 1. I don't like Mac Jones for some reason.
Wait,
His
what about
film
the
looked awful.
Patriots?
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that. I mean, if I'm Patriots, I mean, shoot,
You have
Mac
two
Jones is one of them that
uncertainties.
Give him Cam Newton.
Mac.
I could see a Mac Jones trade maybe, but I feel like I've seen too many videos of Mac Jones trying to ball out in training camp or whatever practice.
Also, just depends
Uh,
on how high Texans, think about some of these other quarterbacks. Because like we were talking about the Dolphins sending Tua, like just because the Dolphins probably like Tua doesn't necessarily mean the Texans even like Tua.
Yeah.
Which
Wait,
Yeah,
is
well,
what
I
not
don't.
always a
about the
consensus.
Patriots? Deshaun Watson going up to
No,
New England.
no, it's not happening. What would they give up?
I mean,
Mac Jones ain't worth it. Cam Newton, they're not taking Cam
Mac
Newton.
Jones might be worth it to the Texans.
Nah, Mac. I don't know. For me, it ain't. I've watched his film. I really hope he sucks now because now that I'm like, I'm about to see this 10 years from now when he's the greatest
Quarterback
quarterback
of all time.
But I really think like watching his film from college, he looks like I don't know. He don't look as good. When you watch Zach Wilson, like Trevor Lawrence looks like a freaking superstar
Okay, it's
quarterback
Trevor Lawrence.
like in high school. That's what it looks like. You look at Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson looks like when you watch somebody, the way that just by the way they move, the way they throw, they look comfortable. They just look good. Like
I feel like
Patrick
people
Mahomes.
aren't high on Mac Jones because he's an Alabama quarterback. Because they're just always surrounded by every other weapon at every other position.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
Alabama quarterbacks, which look at history, they don't really pan out too well in the NFL because they don't have all those weapons. But like I feel like that's another reason why people aren't high on Mac Jones is just because of where he went.
I don't think he's like just from his film though. Like I don't remember what it was, but there was something about him I just knew. Like I'm like, dude, this guy's not good. Like, if you just watch highlights from his, I think Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence will probably be the two quarterbacks out of here that
I
I
like
think.
Trey Lance too. I just hope he can get playing time over Jimmy.
Yeah. Trey Lance. I think Justin Fields is good too. I think, like, I didn't think he'd actually go over Lawrence, but Justin Fields is really good. You saw that he's tough. I like that in him.
Yeah.
Like,
But you don't think
But-
Mac Jones is anything?
okay. This is my prediction.
Listen,
right
Bill Belichick might be able to develop the guy. You know, Nick
here. Mac
Saban to Bill
Jones will have
Belichick.
Mac Jones will probably have at best a like Andy Dalton career.
Okay. That's fair. We'll see how it pans out. So to wrap up the entire
Yeah.
discussion, Deshaun Watson's going to get traded. We'll see where he goes. We went off
Yeah.
on some tangents right there. We started talking about the Patriots, talk about the Colts for a second.
We could talk about the Colts again because today they announced that Frank Reich has tested positive for the virus.
Yep.
A lot of other podcasts you won't hear them completely go about this in their own way because it's so much mixed feelings. But I'm just gonna go right at it. Like how does this play out in the NFL? Because he's vaccinated and he's still gonna be out for 2 weeks with COVID. I just
Yeah.
said the word, anyways. Like, what's gonna be the difference if you're vaccinated and not vaccinated? Because that shows that you can get it being vaccinated. So now the only difference is you're just getting fined. So
I mean, you can look at this at like a bunch of different ways. How you described it, yes. Another one, how much time is it still possible to rule out a false positive? We saw it with the Colts last year. Does he
Yeah.
actually have COVID? I feel like if they put out a statement like they did, it is real, like he does test positive. But he's asymptomatic. He's a 60-year-old guy. Yes, he is vaccinated. He didn't even know he had COVID. He had no symptoms. He's perfectly fine. But yes, he was positive for it. So maybe that's how, like, what happens when you're vaccinated and you get the virus. You're like, it's like very minor.
it actually
Maybe.
makes me. You can go ahead.
No, that's it. I was cool.
It makes me curious about, like, I don't know how they do it in the NFL, but I have a friend that plays college football, and he decided to not get vaccinated. So basically, what he has to do for not being vaccinated is he's literally tested every single day for COVID,
Yeah.
and the people that are vaccinated that will never get tested, like they never get tested, has not been tested since because they do their little off season stuff, and he's tested just about every day.
So you're wondering if that's the same way in the NFL?
Yeah,
I mean,
so I'm
it's
wondering-
obviously not if Frank got tested,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
but
Like,
it
I
is
wonder if it's like
going
that,
into
but-
training camp. They probably all got tested
Yeah,
because their training
'Cause
camp hasn't started.
I feel like that'd be kind of like I couldn't imagine getting the shot and then just still getting tested
Still
every day. It's
testing
like,
positive.
dang. Yeah.
I don't know. This raises the question: is this only the start to more COVID troubles? And you made a great point. Like I didn't even think of it when we brought up this topic. Like you have someone that's double vaccinated, still getting COVID before the season even starts. So what happens now? Like what are people already thinking? Like how does this change all the relaxation that we thought was going to happen coming into this season? Not
It's
based off
more
last
of-
season.
Yeah, it's more of just something you got to deal with because, like, I think the only thing the NFL's doing wrong right now is I don't like the fine because you can get COVID either way.
Yeah, and this
And
proves it.
they're so, it's like if you don't have it, the only thing it's gonna affect is yourself for not being asymptomatic. You're gonna feel symptoms. Like, from what I understand, that's what I believe.
My understanding is I think you're only going to get fined if you don't. I think it's Actually,
you
I don't
don't
know.
It's
what?
violation. Not
I
fine, but
don't know if
like,
it's if
for
you
example, the
don't have
last
the
game.
vaccination. Uh, Part of me also thinks it was fined if you break COVID protocol. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
you're
just
correct.
like
But I mean,
getting
like,
it.
I'm talking about the. I didn't mean to say fine. I mean the last, like, for example, how they said that you'll forfeit basically if it's
Hmm.
because of unvaccinated players. But what's the difference between being vaccinated and unvaccinated if they all have it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're still gonna
Yeah.
have the virus.
Well, that's the thing. I think even with the vaccine, even if most people get it, like it's still the COVID's still going to be a problem from time to time. It's just hopefully that this will
Yeah.
reduce it.
Yeah, and
Also,
with
I think
that's why
too.
they're pushing for people to get vaccinated so it doesn't
Yeah,
cause a huge outbreak.
and I think
Yeah.
too, with everybody kind of coming back, I think this hopefully is like the time where you're gonna maybe see hopefully, because I'm not wishing for people to get COVID, but hopefully that maybe this is one of the more like high points throughout the season of when people will get COVID, because I figure they're all coming like back to the facility, so
Yeah,
they're back from like their normal lives and training outside of whatever state they're going to be in or whatnot. So like this would be like, I don't know, kind of the time where like the NBA when they had the bubble, everybody's coming back in. People are going to come back in and have it because they've been out doing
yeah. There's
whatever.
definitely gonna be cases. Just it's inevitable, and hopefully as the season progresses, and they test more, they're not traveling as much, they're not they're staying with the
Right.
team. It kind of dies down.
Yeah. It's just it's more of a. It's just an issue that you would not even think of like a couple years ago, and it's just they're trying to adapt to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
the
it's
most
it's
logical thing is to say is just get vaccinated. Hopefully, it just helps you. And
it just sucks. Like this really sucks because you can't really say that because Frank Reich, like, and it sucks as the Colts coach too, but he's been double vaccinated. He was all systems go, and then he gets a positive COVID test. Doesn't even have any symptoms. Doesn't even feel bad at all.
yeah,
But he looks at this test results and he's positive. It's like, well, is that really how it's going to go down this year? Like,
yeah,
that
it's
would
like
suck.
it's like they made basically saying like I got vaccinated because that's what you're supposed to do, and
And I'm still getting it, and now I have to
I'm
quarantine for
still
2 weeks
getting it.
before training camp.
Yeah, it's
Just I
just
think it just goes to show is vaccination or not. I think you still got to be careful, and that's why I think
Yeah.
especially players that are still going to opt not to get it, which I think is still is completely fine. I think you should have the choice. That just means I think if you don't want to cost your team or you don't want to cost yourself, you just got to treat it like it was last year and
Yep.
be super cautious. So I
And-
think that's what people are kind of forgetting about. That is, if these players don't get the vaccination, that's fine. But I think people don't realize that they're not going to get it. That just not necessarily a bad thing. It just means they got to be more cautious.
And they will be more cautious. They don't want to spread it. They don't want it to affect their team themselves.
Mhm.
They want to play. They hate all the stuff that's going on. They'll be careful. They just don't want to get vaccinated. That's their belief.
yeah.
So switching
That's-
topics away from COVID,
Away from that. Let's get away from that.
Madden 22, the ratings are starting to come out. It's that time of year. We're about a month out of the new game. And they announced the top 10 receivers in the game based on overall. And there was one 99 overall. The only 99 overall to be announced so far, and it's Devontae Adams. Rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he deserves 99. But on the list also was Tyreek Hill,
down.
DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, and Julio Jones. How's that top 5 in your guys' eyes?
I want to argue with it, but I just can't right now. I can't think of anybody.
Do you think Stephon Diggs deserves top 5 in the league?
I feel like he's good. And
Over the 6 through 10, Thomas, Allen, Cooper, Evans, and Robinson? Because that's the top 10. You think someone else
No.
deserves top 5?
I think Tyreek could almost be. I think Tyreek should be a 99.
I do
There's no
too.
reason he shouldn't be. There's
I
no
do
reason
too.
he shouldn't be. He's one of those players that when he runs on the field, you're like, holy shit. Like,
I
like
agree with
Devontae
you.
Adams, I feel like he's more. He's not like he's good. Like he's good in everything. I feel like he's more of a balanced receiver. He's just more dominant. But like he's not. When you see him go out on the field, I mean, I haven't seen him in person, but like on TV, actually, if you look at them on the field and you look at him, you're like, holy shit, he can move. Holy shit, that's like
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Corbin, what do you think?
I don't have that big of a problem with it. I know Bailey was in the Instagram DM when Dalen and I were debating it because I personally would take Mike Evans, put him in the top 5, and I'd probably put him at 4. That would be more like if I was just ranking them. I think for me, it's hard to like say like this is like a top like 10 for like EA because I feel like they have to put a little bit more emphasis on like the most recent year. Because in my
True.
opinion, if I'm actually like ranking the receivers, I think consistency through the past like couple of years or whatever, I think to me that would come in more of account.
Right.
So
Instead of
that's
just
why
going
I don't
into
have
this
a
year.
yeah, and that's why I don't have a huge problem with it, just because like Stephon Diggs had a ridiculously good year last year, so you put him at 4 or whatever. But like
That's
I
a good
said,
point.
if I was ranking them, because that's another thing too, is like
If it's
Theo
based off of
Jones at
last year, Allen
5,
Robinson would be on there.
he made the 10th spot, I
Oh,
think is what
he did.
Bailey
I did
said.
see
Yeah.
that. Oh, I see that now.
But
What you know who they're missing on here completely? If I'm just not seeing it, is you already knew who I'm gonna say, AJ Brown.
Based off of
and that's
last
what
year
I
going
saw
into this year.
a lot of people saying that on Twitter that like Julio Jones was 5th, and they were like he's not even the best receiver on the team. So I mean,
Ooh, spicy.
I think I agree with Jackson. I think AJ Brown should be in the top 10, but so that's just like another thing. Like
If it's off of
Julio
last
missed,
year, Michael Thomas didn't really even play. So I mean,
yeah, and Julio Jones missed a bunch of games. But that's what I'm saying though is like I think they're trying to take into account that like Michael Thomas and Julio got hurt, so they want to dock them that much because they know if they
yeah,
they played all the games, they probably would have just been fine. So that's where like I was saying, like I think if you're rating them for a game to where you're like pairing them or you're like trying to rank them just like how good they are, like I like just ranking them, I would have Julio in the top 5 too. But I don't know, it's weird.
It's hard to rank at the end of the day. It's just a very difficult thing to do. Who else? So I guess they're gonna release more than 99 overalls as the weeks go by, like one a day or something like that on like Sports Center and Get Up and stuff like that. Who else do you see joining Adams in that 99 Madden club across the whole league, all
um,
positions?
Br- I want to say Brady. I don't think they're gonna do it
Nah, they
though
won't do it, Brady. They might do
because
Mahomes
I
again.
don't
yeah,
think Brady, but yeah, I would say
Mah-
Mahomes and
Mahomes.
Aaron Donald are probably 2 locks.
Yeah.
Josh Allen will be 90. He won't be 99, but I feel like it could be one of the things that you see
Josh
going
Allen's
down the
either
road.
gonna have like a 97 or like a 98, or he's gonna get snubbed and do like a 93, 92, something like that. It's either gonna be one or the
That's
other.
what. So now that you're talking about Josh Allen, just another thing to my point about like Madden ratings and then like actually ranking.
Yeah.
Like Josh Allen, like you said, it's probably going to be something like 95 to 97 or whatever. But like if you're ranking like top 10 quarterbacks, still think I'm going to take like Russell Wilson and like Brady right now, like over him, even though he had a better year than them last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I still think
What running back?
ranking
Derrick
this-
Henry might be a 99, especially
Yeah,
coming off
maybe.
last year.
Definitely. Yeah.
A
They said that
99
said-
overall running back's gonna suck.
running backs are released Wednesday, the 28th. Safeties are released Thursday. Quarterbacks are Friday, and then tomorrow it'll be defensive linemen and edge rushers.
Imagine Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce might be a 99. Actually, now I think about
God,
it.
Mahomes and Kelsey both 99s. And
There's no way they
Hill
can't
at
do that.
98.
It's like
My
Hill.
God.
Oh man,
'Cause I think that's
Hill.
Hill's
ratings,
Hill's a
98.
lock at 98.
He is.
I wonder what they're
that's
going to do
way
to
out.
Christian McCaffrey. I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey was a 99 in the last or like Madden 20.
I think you're right.
He was kind of hurt off and on, but he's still. So
I'm ready to
that'll
see
be
him
interesting.
play. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the Panthers, man.
What do we think Jonathan Taylor's Madden rating is going to be?
86.
80s? No, not even low 90s?
Probably
He's gonna be like
80s.
80s, high 80s because
Yeah.
80s.
we haven't seen enough.
High
Just like we
80s.
talked about in the last podcast.
You gotta think if they're trying to like evenly kind of distribute it. Well, though, what was Allen Robinson's rating? Do you remember? Want to say for some reason I feel like I remember seeing 90, but I don't know if that's right or not. It was either 90 or 89, I think.
They have the rookie ones out too. Have you seen those, Jackson?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They got Kyle Pitts at 81.
Trevor Lawrence at a
at
78.
70. I think Trevor Lawrence could be at 80 already.
Did you see where Zach Wilson said? Hold up, let me see. Someone said it. Zach Wilson said, "I feel like I'll be a 90." Like when he asked him like, "What do you think your overall is going to be in Madden this year?" He said like 90 something, and they put him at a 75.
Yeah.
I like his confidence though. You know.
I think it's crazy. They got like I understand because this is how the draft played out, but Jalen Waddle, for one, should have never got picked over Devontae Smith for one thing. You even when if you go back, look at Jalen Waddle getting drafted. He was shocked, and he kind of like it almost looked like he felt bad that he got picked over Devontae Smith because they're teammates.
Yeah.
It was like he kind of was like, wait, what? So then went Jamar Chase, which is a 75, and Devontae Smith. I think Jalen Waddle should be under them, even though he's good.
So you asked, we thought Jonathan Taylor's rating would be. The only reason I asked what Allen Robinson was is because he was they got him as the 10th wide receiver. Looking at it, they have him as a 90. I don't know. I think Jonathan Taylor might be able to crack 90.
That'd be sick.
If we think he's a top 10 running back, then there's a chance that he could
I
be
think he's a top
90,
5 in
even
the
if,
season.
but yeah, just like going in this year, even if we think he's a top 10, that means he's going to potentially have a 90 if it's like the receivers where the 10th receiver is a 90.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is the lowest out of the notable quarterback pickups from the first round. Is the lowest rating.
Trey Lance is a 74 too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Madden ratings are interesting. I wonder what the players think, like when they see their Madden rating. Because I know like
I feel like
the
they're
NBA players talk about it more than the NFL players. I feel like, but I just imagine like loading up Madden one, seeing yourself, and then like seeing like your stats and your ratings, like how they rate you. That'd be sick.
I like the Kyle Pitts rating. I like how they went bold and put him at 81 because isn't he like the only tight end to ever go that high? Like,
Yeah.
so I think they put that in the count and that he's kind of disgusting. So
Go off what they think. Like what's cool is like Madden actually sends like dudes wearing T-shirts that say like Madden rating adjusters like games and shit, and like players definitely like talk to him and stuff like that.
A lot of stuff goes into it.
Yeah, so I mean
they
they
even
yeah.
have the IQ on some of the old Maddens.
All right, last topic, or no, second to last topic. We talked about him a little bit earlier of what he did last year. How far do you guys think Ryan Fitzpatrick can take Washington? A Washington
Playoffs,
team,
baby.
you think so? A Washington team
Playoffs.
that people are high on, one really because of their defense. And how far do you think Ryan Fitzmagic can take them?
I'm gonna show you guys something right now. PlayoffPredictor.com. I'm going to my playoff predictor. I somehow had the Redskins at, if it loads up, I have the Redskins, or not the Redskins, my bad. The Washington football team at 12-5 this season.
Okay.
And to be honest, I don't even know who's going to lead them there. I could see if they put Heineke over Fitzmagic in the middle of the season or something like that, kind of like how the Dolphins did it with Tua. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen because Tua was like a rookie and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out, which I'm not saying that would or wouldn't, but somehow I'm at 12-5. The schedule must be easy. I don't know.
So I was watching a discussion on this today, and they asked the question, who do you like more? Do you like, because between the Cowboys and the Redskins are probably going to be who wins the NFC East. Do you like Washington's defense over Dallas's offense?
100% all day. I also want you to know is that Zeke's, if we compare the two teams, I think the quarterback's better, receivers are better, but the one thing that people don't understand, which, okay, honestly, Zeke is way better than any running back on the football team, but Antonio Gibson is a player that not a lot of people are looking at, and he's really good. And J.D. McKissick, he is really, really good. They had that combo last year. They're both receiving running backs.
Yeah.
But Antonio Gibson was a stud, and McKissick was a stud on fantasy football. So they also have Jonathan Williams, too, and Lamar Miller, the old guy.
So you're taking their
Or
offense or Washington's defense over Dallas's offense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's safe, but I think Dallas's offense is extremely talented as well. But they just need to perform, and they need to stay healthy. So what
Well,
about
if you
Washington's offense over Dallas's young trash so far off last year defense?
said Dallas is
Washington's
trash defense.
yeah, Washington's offense should be good. I don't know much about their offensive line, but I know they got like Brandon Sheriff, who's really solid. He's their left or right guard, but I mean they got some weapons on offense, like
I
Jaxel said.
I looked up their receiving
With
core
Anthony,
too.
Terry
yeah, with
McLaurin is.
McLaurin, and then they brought in Curtis Samuel here, which Curtis Samuel had a good year last year with the Panthers. He's just a speed guy. Those are two that I mean that's a solid 1 and 2 because Terry McLaurin I think he's a really underrated receiver.
I mean, last
Fun
year he
fact.
had 1,000 yards.
Washington beat the
He's young.
Cowboys in blowouts both games last year, which okay, I understand that Dak didn't play, but
Yeah.
still just kind of
What was the
notable
scores?
to look at. 25-3 on the first game, and then the second game was 41-16.
My God. Yeah, that defense just destroyed Dallas. 3 points in 16. So, and are you guys positive in their defense continuing in the right direction? I mean, I'd say so.
Mhm.
Geez, now you guys got me
That-
rethinking my pick on the Cowboys.
I think Cowboys will
Good.
definitely be better, like overall. The thing I'm worried about is their defense and possibly like if Zeke doesn't perform, which I think he will. They're kind of. I don't think they're gonna be that good as well. And if Dak can, like, if there's one, it just goes for any team. If there's one injury, I feel like it could just blow the whole thing.
Yeah, and Dak's coming off a pretty brutal injury. I mean, that high. I mean, we saw what happened to his ankle,
Yeah.
and it's your ankle. So like that's he might be fine now, but I mean that's a scary injury to come back on. There's just question marks.
Yeah.
Should be a good race for that division. And those two teams, and I don't know. And then you got the Giants and Eagles, which who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with them, but right now, not much. We're not high on either one of those. So Jackson, to end the episode, do you want to do player props?
Yeah, so I'm pulling my phone up right now. We're gonna look at some player props. This is something that I was actually pretty neat that I looked at. I looked at FanDuel the other day and was just kind of bored. Betting baseball like usual as of now because there's nothing else to bet on. But
This guy's just itching to bet on stuff.
it's fun because like baseball you can look at and like the numbers really do work. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy to predict what's happening in baseball. But football, it's just more. I have more of a passion for betting on football, and I'm sitting here like just oh my gosh, I can't wait. But
So what are you gonna do like we did last time? You just name off the props and then
I'm just gonna name off, and I want you guys. I'll probably do some too. So I think we did the MVP, or I don't know if we did MVP.
we didn't do anybody with players. We did it all teams.
Okay, so first question. I'm not gonna go through all these. I'm just gonna go through like the notable ones because I'm not gonna do every single quarterback's player props. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's insane. But I'll do some of the notable ones and maybe some random ones. So number one, the first one on FanDuel is season awards. NFL regular season MVP 2021. Patrick Mahomes is at number one with plus 500. Aaron Rodgers is at second with plus 1,000. What's your thoughts?
For the regular season MVP?
Do you think it's gonna be somebody that's like known that's probably gonna get it, or it's someone like oh shit
like
it's
a
breakout
Lamar
year?
Jackson a couple years ago type thing?
Yeah,
You know what? If I'm putting money down just to do it, I'm either going Dak or Carson Wentz. No, I'm not kidding either.
You know,
like that.
those odds are going to be really good.
Dak's plus 1,500
Like, I mean,
and
good money
Carson
line.
Wentz is plus 4,000.
yeah.
Yeah, so you bet $100, you're going to win 4,000 on Carson Wentz.
Hey, I better do it. Huh?
If you think about it, like some of these players, like down here, like down at the bottom, like they really don't think about. For example, Deshaun Watson. Who knows what the hell is gonna happen with him?
Yeah.
Plus 5,000 for Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson is on a team that play, if we knew what was going on with Deshaun Watson, he would definitely be under 1,000 odds.
Derrick Henry too. Let's get away from some quarterbacks. It's a plus 5,000 odds
Mm.
on that Titans offense. He might have an MVP year.
I like
Dalvin
Christian
Cook
McCaffrey.
Dalvin Cook was up there a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Last year,
Justin
So
Herbert's plus 2,000. That's crazy. He's over
Yeah,
Baker
that was-
Mayfield.
So I picked on the playoff predictor. I also had the Panthers. I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but this was me not looking at anything but the games. Somehow I had the Panthers winning the division over the Buccaneers, and what if Sam Darnold got it?
I'm actually excited to see
Plus
how he
9,000.
plays this year with Panthers.
Rookie? I don't think a rookie's ever won MVP.
probably look at Russell Wilson. That's the thing about the MVPs. There's so many people that could get it, like especially at the beginning
Remember,
of the year.
yeah, remember he was favorite last year for a long time. Wilson was. He was.
And
in
even
dogs.
like him and Kyler Murray. A lot of people were betting Kyler Murray last year. And
yeah,
he started off first half of the
Remember
year. He
that.
was up there.
yep. So we got our MVP. What's next?
So MVP.
So everybody give their like one pick.
I'm gonna
All
go
right,
Dak.
one pick. Dak. Okay, for you, Cord.
I think I'm gonna go with the Russell Wilson.
I'm gonna stick with my heart and everything here. I'm really leaning on a kind of a Josh Allen, but I'm gonna pick Matthew Stafford. I'm gonna stick with my word with the Rams. I
Oh
really
my
think
God.
that they're gonna go crazy.
That
this
guy
year.
can't get away from the Rams.
I don't know why, dude. I could either be really stupid or really smart right now. I don't know which one it is, but
I mean, it's kind of the same with me with Prescott and the Cowboys.
all right, I'm gonna say 5 words right here, okay? Rookie of year, Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
Yeah, it's safe. Offensive rookie of the
You know-
year.
You know who I want to throw in?
Yeah, offensively.
Who?
Freaking
Rondo.
Rondale.
I knew it.
You
Yo,
think
listen.
Ronio's gonna get rookie of the year?
Could if that Cardinals
I mean,
offense,
He's just fun.
that'd be wild.
I like Rondale, but I don't think he's good. Like, there's no way he
Listen,
gets it
Trevor
over
Lawrence is a
quarterback.
safe one. Go big, like your Matthew Stafford pick. You want to say
And-
Zach Wilson?
Yeah. I'm thinking either him or Zach Wilson, and maybe if I had to pick anybody else that was not those two, I'm picking between Najee Harris and the
Kyle
Maybe-
Pitts might be a safe one.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, him or Pitts.
Maybe we can say these. Maybe we can say these are way too early. Maybe we get closer to.
Oh, these are
way
these are
too
before training camp, son.
Yeah, maybe we can make it. Maybe we
Najee
can
Harris,
wait
I can see
till
that happening.
season and get our official ones marked down.
Yeah. I'd say for my offensive rookie of the year, other than Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts is who I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Good one.
number 1 Trevor Lawrence, number 2. I don't know if I should say Zach Wilson or Najee Harris. I'm just gonna say Najee Harris because if I say that right now, it's kind of crazy if he gets it, and he's gonna get a huge workload with the Steelers.
Okay. What's next? Defense?
We can go through defense if you want.
I don't really know. Our defensive player of the year, yeah.
Defensive, actually, second is Kwity Paye, which is kind of crazy. I don't think he'll get it, but I think Patrick or Surtain gets it. He's
I don't
kinda
know enough
crazy.
defensive rookies like I do offense to make a pick.
Patrick Surtain is just ridiculous. Kind of insane. That's all I can say about him. It's probably gonna be Micah Parsons, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's what I would have bet. I would have said Parsons.
Okay, so I'm gonna run through some of the just regular season total, and I'm actually gonna pick which one we can agree on. Like, it's gonna be 3 of us, and whichever one that you guys agree on, I will pick for
Okay.
this. So, gosh dang it, I'm just gonna pick the number 1, Patrick Mahomes over. Remember, we're playing 17 games this year, okay?
Are these the
Over.
over-unders?
Over under 5,000 passing yards this season. Let's look at what he passed last year just to make sure, because we're actually making these picks. So
I'm pulling it up right now. It's for 4,740 yards.
One
What's
more
that mean?
game,
That's
300
also-
yards?
Oh, and that's actually like 2 more games because he missed. He only played 15 games last year.
but what sucks is like we don't know because a bunch of these players could be getting hurt.
Obviously, I mean, you can say that with any one of these
So
bets.
I know.
I know it's like 3 years ago, but 2018 he threw for 1,097 yards in 16 games.
I'm going
Also, when he
over.
threw 50 touchdown passes.
I'll go over on that one.
Going
Yeah,
over for
this isn't going to be too exciting because we're going to agree on the first one, but I think I'm going to go over.
What Jackson might
Yeah.
not be sold on over.
I honestly think I could see it being like 4-9. Like I really think it's gonna be like 4-9. But if he gets there, he might as well get over 5,000. So we're gonna add that one to the slip. You can't parlay these. That's not cool. But I'll just keep these in my future so that us tiebreaker nation can just say we picked the right thing. So second one is gonna be Carson Wentz. I'm gonna pick over under 3,800 yards.
This is a tough one because of our run game as well. I don't think we're going to need him to throw a lot of yards.
Let's look at this.
38
Let's
might
look at
be
this.
easy, but I can definitely see him going under as well.
Let's take this. Did Tannehill throw over that much with Derrick Henry?
What was his stats last year? I'll look up Phillip Rivers.
Probably.
I think Phil Burris threw over 4,000 to be honest. Ooh, he threw Tannehill threw 3,819.
So 12 games last year, Carson Wentz threw 2,620.
Rivers
2000
threw
season.
41.
Let me
Also,
see Rivers
17
again.
game season.
Let's see Rivers
Uh,
with Rivers stats 2020. I want to see how he passed with Jonathan Taylor in the last couple or like last stretch.
What was the number again?
It
38.
was 38.75, which is kind of funny because that's just a little bit more than Tannehill threw with Derrick Henry, which
Yeah, I'm a believer in that. I'm a believer in that Carson Wentz is going to get back to old form. So I think I'm going to go over.
I'd go over.
Looking if he gets back to his form where he's at like to the 2016 through 2019. I mean, like his rookie year, he threw 3,782. Next 2 years, he threw 3,296 and 3,074. But in both of those years, he played 13 and then 11 games.
Wow. I wonder why they have
so
him
let's
so low
pick.
at 38.
What do you think he's at? You guys
He
think
only,
over?
he only threw 2,620 yards last year in 12 games. I mean, I think it's just a big deal about how he played last year.
Corbin said over.
I'm going over as
I
well.
want to say over. But I'll go over. I'll go over.
Yeah.
I can see him getting low fours, maybe 42, 43.
I'm gonna do 2 more quarterbacks for this, and then we'll get out of the quarterbacks because there's just so many I want to choose from. I definitely want to choose a rookie for the fun of it, but also want to choose one more quarterback. I think I'm gonna go with. I want to find one that's decent because,
What about Trevor
for
Lawrence?
example, Trevor Lawrence will be our rookie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is actually scheduled, or not scheduled, is is actually supposed to have more than Carson Wentz, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, they have Trevor Lawrence at 4150.
I could see it happen. I could see Trevor Lawrence throwing like 50 times a game, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd probably bet that under. What did Justin Herbert
Yeah,
throw
I
last
think-
year?
Yeah, I was about to say, what did Justin Herbert throw last year?
We need a stats guy on hand.
Herbert,
So many tabs open right now.
He threw 43-36.
and he didn't really have any weapons other than Keenan Allen. And they had Eckler, I
Eckler.
think.
I'd
And
go under
really-
41 for Trevor Lawrence.
You think so?
Yeah, I think under 41.
I could definitely see him breaking that, but if I'm putting money in betting, I'd go under.
I think it's over, but we're going to put under because it's obviously 2 beats 1.
You also got to think, and I guess Herbert only played 15 games, and they're adding a 17th game. At the same time, Herbert had one of like the greatest like rookie years almost
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And more
Yeah.
weapons than what Trevor Lawrence is supposed to have in Jacksonville.
I don't think that is correct. But
On the
we can.
receiving core?
I like the Jags receiving core right now. I really can't even name one person other than Laviska Shenault. but
DJ Chark.
they're gonna. I think that they're gonna be using Travis Etienne at the slot position, so I like that.
Let's do some
DJ Chark's
receivers
insane.
or running
Um,
backs.
I actually want to do one more quarterback, and I can't remember who I wanted to do. It was
B. Stafford.
it wasn't Stat. There was one that I was excited to do. Now I just can't think.
Darnold, Tannehill, Fitzpatrick, Russell, Stafford.
Oh, it was Darnold. It was Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Over under 3,800 yards with I don't know who his receiving core is. Just remember he's to be throwing to McCaffrey maybe. So
I'd go under 38.
Have Robbie Anderson.
so you guys think? I think it's to be under as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over.
Last year he threw
I-
22, but he only
What did
12 games.
yeah.
13
Who was
the
your
year
Panthers
before.
quarterback last
3, 24. Bridgewater.
What'd you say, Jax?
who was the Panthers QB last year? Was it Tyrod Taylor or
Bridgewater.
was it
It's Bridgewater.
Oh, Bridgewater. Why am I? Phil, they both played for them, didn't they?
Yeah, the second, I can't remember who you just
Bridgewater
said. Got DJ Moore also plays for the Panthers too. I mean, he's got a solid 1 and 2 as long as DJ Moore stays healthy with him and Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson had a really good year last year.
Actually, fun fact: Teddy Bridgewater threw for 37, going 4-11.
Bridgewater was up there
3,000.
he was up there in total yards most of the time, top 5 all year until he started missing games.
I want to say Sam Darnold goes over because I feel like this is the year that he's gonna. I think he's gonna have the Tannehill effect right here. He's gonna move.
He's
into
out of the
system.
Jets, new team.
Yeah, and he's gonna pop off. I like DJ Moore is one of my favorite receivers because I have him in fantasy every year, and he's just one of those players that you don't really expect to play good, but then he just gets touchdowns and receiving yards. So
Corbin over or
I'm-
under 38 for Sam Darnold. 38.5.
8-5. Wasn't Pat Mahomes was his for what?
I think Mahomes was 5,000.
we compare.
5.
Yeah, his was over under 5.
We picked the over on it.
Makes sense. For some reason, I was thinking 4, and I was like, geez, the difference between Pat Mahomes and Sam Darnold is only 300 yards,
I'd go
500
under
yards.
38 for Sam Darnold.
I'm going over. Over. Think about it. If Teddy Bridgewater is playing 15 games with the Panthers and he's throwing 37, there's no way Darnold can't throw 38 unless he gets hurt. With Robbie Anderson, which I guess he.
Also,
played
got to
way
think
too.
too. A lot of that time when Bridgewater, Christian McCaffrey was hurt. I mean, I
But
know
Mike
Christian
Davis was
McCaffrey gets a
holding
lot
it
of-
down though. Mike Davis, I believe, was
That's
getting
true.
20+ carries a game. And McCaffrey is better he's not better at the past game, but for Mike Davis compared to McCaffrey, they'll be throwing to McCaffrey. So
Well,
I don't know.
I'll lean towards over. think it's a
we're gonna
toss-up.
pick over on the Sam Darnold one. All right, let's get out of the quarterbacks here. Let's move into. We'll do 2 receivers and 2 running backs. The number. I'm gonna do. We can do AJ Brown. I like this one, Deebo Samuel with the 49ers. Someone that I think he was hurt most of last year. This is gonna be a hard one to pick,
Mhm.
but I want to pick one that is not just so popular. If you don't understand. Stats. Let's look at Deebo Samuel's stats last year. He only had 300 some yards. Only had 30 catches. So,
What was the over under you would say?
oh my bad. That was over under 875. I think. I was. I'm.
You only had 802.
Yeah, and I think personally, which is weird that he only had 3 touchdowns, but I think it's under.
You're going under 875 for Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, I think if we want to pick over 800 on somebody, it's gonna be Ayuk. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what
The
I
other
was about to
receiver they
just look
have?
up his stats.
Ayuk is insane. I've watched him play. The way he plays. Debo is the same way, but it's just Debo will get hurt. Yeah, I think he's one of those players that's just too fast for his body.
What's the next receiver?
Next receiver, if you want to do a rookie, we can do a rookie.
I want to do
Or we
Devontae
can-
Smith.
We can do Devontae Smith and or Michael Pittman.
I like Michael Pittman because he has a set quarterback who's going to be throwing to him,
Yeah.
other than Devontae. What do they have Michael Pittman at?
Michael Pittman's
775.
7. I think it's over. I think it's a lock it over. He's gonna be the number one receiver.
Hopefully, hopefully not. Hopefully, our number one receiver is Paris Campbell. In my opinion,
He'll play the number one role as the outside guy.
I think they're both.
Right.
I wonder what his is. I bet they're both over 775. To be honest,
I could see that happening.
what do they have? Rondale Moore. They have him over 575. Corbin, what do you think?
It's just a tough one, just because I hope they use him.
Yeah,
Just don't know what they're
How
going
do
to
they
use him
use-
necessarily as. Also, you got to
They-
think they still got D Hop. They got
AJ Green.
Christian Kirk, AJ Green. Those three guys. I don't know. If, in my opinion, I would be starting probably Rondale over AJ, but I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to use him. Receiving might not even be as.
Let's see how spread apart it was last year because for some reason I'm thinking the Cardinals had a lot of because Hopkins had 1,400. Christian Kirk was the second receiver was only at 600, which was Christian Kirk. So
Jesus.
Yeah, I think too.
Your
Kyler
quarterback's
Murray's running
scrambling.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see the people that are making these over-unders know what they're doing because
Yeah.
I could see Rondale Moore being at a solid 500, but I don't think I could see him at 600 plus, which his over
I can see Rondale
575.
Moore doing really good when he's in, but I don't think he's going to be in a consistent role to go
Yeah,
to
that's-
put a
that's-
lock over 575.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I don't think he's definitely capable of it. I just don't.
I feel like he'll average a lot of big
his
plays
role
this
is a
season.
question. The role is just a question mark.
All right, running
Ron-
backs.
So Rondale Moore, what we get a lot. We need to get a lock on the over under. So we're gonna do under on Rondale Moore.
Yeah, I like
Then
that.
what was the? I'm not gonna do the Debo Samuel one. I don't like that one. I think he's a lock for under, but
Pittman was over whatever it was.
Pittman's
7 something.
definitely an over.
I want to see him score
So
more
what-
touchdowns.
We'll move into total rushing yards for the 2021 season. I'm kind of scared about this one. I think let's do Jonathan Taylor off the rip because he's just one of them players.
Over 1275.
Oh God!
I mean,
don't
last
know,
year he
man.
was over that. I think.
We're fives. He was at 11, I think, last year, if I'm right.
Either 11 or 13.
1169.
Yeah. And that was
11.
off a really good second half to the season. He had a slow start. I think I'd lock over 1275.
I think you can lock it. It's just
I hate the thing where he came off a really good end, or not really end, but second half of the season, like I said, and now you just want to see him do it again. In
I
your
still
head,
don't
it
trust
should
the
be-
Colts. I still don't trust his role with the Colts, to be honest. Just knowing that they
They
wouldn't
got it
play him.
together towards the end of the season, though.
But the thing is, they still weren't doing it. I don't know.
With Marlon
At
Mack
this
coming
point,
back
they-
too.
Yeah, with Marlon Mack coming in, I don't think there's a way you can have those. Jonathan Taylor is a stud running back. He could easily get over 1,200 yards if he's getting the 25 carries a game every single time. I think he could break 2,000 if they did that. But
They have Derrick Henry at 1539.
I
did
think.
Derrick
I
Henry
think.
have over 2?
This Jonathan Taylor one's actually tough when we start thinking about it.
I think Jonathan Taylor. I think that's an over. I don't know how much.
Who can we compare him to, though?
I don't know
who
how
can we
much.
compare his stats?
I don't know how much Marlon Mack's going to take away from Jonathan Taylor. And
Yeah.
I think Marlon Mack will have his role. I don't think it's going to be like.
I think
I think it's even
Taylor
going to be.
solidified
I don't think it's.
himself.
I don't think it's going to be close to splitting carries. I don't know. I would expect. I don't know. Maybe
You know the Colts though. That's the thing. You know what
think
Max-
can happen.
Well, and you also
we
got to
saying
think
over, under?
too. You got to think too, though,
Over.
is Mac. I still think is behind Hines. I mean, I don't
What?
Right now he is.
think. I think for sure he's behind Hines.
That's
I like
tough.
our situation though, because even if one person gets hurt, we're fine. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean Marlon Mack's still
Yeah, but
coming
I'm just-
off an injury.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about. I don't. I guess I don't know how many carries Marlon Mack's gonna get because even if we use Hines as like receiver, I mean we did last year and he still got a good amount of carries.
So over
I
under
can see
Jonathan
it's
Taylor 1275.
I'm saying
I'm saying over.
Yeah, I'm saying as long as he's healthy, I'm saying over. And also part of that how slow he started in the first half of the season was they didn't trust him. Every time he
Exactly.
made a mistake, he
Yep.
get yanked out of the game.
I can see him getting
we'll-
17 to 2000 if he really pops off. It's somewhere in
I
between
think I
that.
Run the
think he
ball
gets
like they
around
do.
12. But
Also,
next
some
one
of it's
we're
gonna come down to wins.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the 17 games. I didn't think about that too. But also, the next one I want to do is because I've talked a lot about him, and I think this is a lock. Najee Harris, 2021 regular season total rushing yards. Over under 1,000 yards.
Over if he's gonna be their guy.
He's the only running back in Pittsburgh that is like actually
That's an
credible.
easy
Like,
over. What? 1,000?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they
Myles
don't. They have
Gaskin-
him just under. Jonathan
How many yards did
Taylor.
Myles Gaskins run? Because I feel like he has the same kind of situation here. Because Myles Gaskins was kind of like just put Miles Matthews.
James Conner ran for 721 last year in 11 games, on 13 attempts a game roughly.
I was like
on
talking about
average.
13 attempts on 700 yards. Like what?
Wait, Najee Harris. Did you say Najee Harris as a possibility for offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Axel did, yeah.
That's pretty safe. He might
I
pop
don't think it's
off.
safe. I think he's gonna pop off. But look at this. Also, oh, never mind. Let's not look at this. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I was gonna say I think Myles Gaskins had close to 1,000, but let's just take half of that maybe.
Maybe a little
But-
500 piece.
But he only rushed, like he only played 7 games. So, or actually, I guess that's 10 games. Never mind. 7 games started. There we go.
So Najee Harris, are we all in agreement? An easy lock over 1,000?
This is the easiest lock of the
Think so.
entire thing that we're doing right now. Over. You guys going over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to recap every single bet that we made. I wish you could make this a parlay, but I'm basically just going to throw in cents on these things. And any winnings off this stuff will be giveaways for the tiebreaker. But
Okay.
over 5,000 yards, Patrick Mahomes. Over 3,875.5 for Carson Wentz. Under 4,150 for Trevor Lawrence. Over Sam Darnold at 3,850. Under 575 for Rondale Moore. I like this one. Over 775 for Michael Pittman. Over 1,275 yards for Jonathan Taylor. And the easiest lock of all of these, Najee Harris over 1,000 yards.
Do we have any unders?
Rondale Moore and
Yeah, okay.
Trevor Lawrence.